What's going on, everyone? It's George again. I'm back with another tutorial, and today I'm going to be working with shapes, two circles or ellipses, whichever you prefer. I'm going to be working with color to give this ellipse a more three-dimensional space look as opposed to a flat circle look through the use of shading and blending. So for starters, I made both my ellipses, and I have this one locked here. The active pixels are locked. So what I can do now is come here and give it a hint of this darker red. I'm going to shade it like that. And then I'm going to take this red and get a lighter color. And do the same to the top side. Shade that a bit. Now we're going to grab our mixer brush. And the mixer brush is just going to help me get rid of those rough edges. And just like that, you can already see how this one looks more three-dimensional as opposed to this one. What I like to do is get a neutral color to add to the background. And now you can really see the difference. And this is through the use of manual shading as well. If I wanted to, I could animate this, which I think I will show you actually. So we're going to create a video timeline with both of these. I'm going to start by reducing the time frame for this circle. I just want it to go up and down, maybe bounce. Slide that forward in the timeline. I'm actually going to hide this one. Neat little feature that Photoshop has is called onion skins, which allows you to see where your frames were and where they're going. Trying to make sure my frames are lined up properly. Somewhat lined up. Let's take it up further. Just that simple movement from working with the timeline, knowing where your frames start and end. I'm just going to have it go off screen. If you want to see this looped, what you would do is take your actual length of your timeline and just get it on your last frame. You can see that loop. It's nothing overly complex. Just another example of working with the timeline. But I will say on 30 frames per second, as I have mine set, you would want to do 30 of these images for the smoothest possible transition. I actually have another example of animation that I can show. This is a video game character I worked on in undergrad. And as you see, I'm working with a frame by frame timeline where the character does his run animation for the game. If I play all this together, you can see the run. I was inspired by the Mega Man animations for this character. It's very similar to what Mega Man was doing in his games, in his earlier games. The key for this, when you work with a pixel-sized animation such as this, with the visible squares, all you do is you go to your next frame and you make sure everything is lined up, and you just keep on adding in to those same spaces whatever active pixels you want to use, and they will work as the animation. Let me have one more example. Another character from the same game that I worked on. And when you're done with your animation, if you wanted to export it for the internet, you would hit File, Export. And I was always taught to do Save for Web Legacy. And you can export it as a GIF, and it will still be able to do the same animation you worked on. This is a rather untraditional tutorial for this month, but I did want to at least show some of what's possible through the use of the timeline in Photoshop. So thank you. Hope you enjoyed the video.